You are listening to Weight Loss Made Real, and this is episode 206. I'm your host, Master Weight Loss Coach and author Cookie Rosenblum. Today and every Tuesday, I am here to be your coach and your guide to help you end your emotional eating and lose that extra weight. If you just found me, welcome. And if you are a regular listener, welcome back, my friend. Here's where we talk about your habit of emotional eating, which is the main focus of all the work I do. This is where coaching meets psychology and psychology meets brain science. And this is where your problem ends. So get comfy, get ready to be coached. I just learned that my sister is listening to these podcasts, which is a real treat for me to know and think about her as I talk to you. And she said that when I said get comfy, that she also thought I was going to say grab a snack. And if you're hungry, you should. But let's focus on why we're here, which is eating when you're hungry and not eating when you're not hungry. Now, before we begin, I want to remind you that this episode, as always, is brought to you by the Freedom Group. The Freedom Group is a monthly membership for smart women just like you who are ready to stop overeating from stress and from habit, and they're ready to learn how to make space for more happiness in their life. If you're listening to me in real time, when this podcast is released, I want you to know that the Freedom Group is open for new members right now. So be sure to go here and find out what to do and how to do it, weightlossmadereal.com/group, because I would love to help you make this year different. Now, in case you missed our masterclass this month on how to end stress eating, I'm back again to talk about other ways to learn how to master this issue once and for all. This is one of the many things that we work on in the Freedom Group because no one's immune to stress and no one has a perfect life. So what we're going to talk about today in this episode, number 206, is that it's okay to feel a little bit low right now and, here's the key, not overeat. If you're still eating when you're stressed, you can learn how to feel uncomfortable feelings like stress or mild depression and still not go to food when you're not hungry. This subject came to me this past week when I was writing my podcast notes for January, and I realized that I was feeling kind of blah and flat. Even though I know we're not meant to be happy all the time, it was still a really noticeable difference for me from how I usually feel. My first impulse was to see if I could change my mood. And then I realized that I didn't even have to do that. I didn't have to do anything, and I certainly didn't have to eat. So here we are right now on this subject for today. And in case you're wondering, I have lived through almost every single topic that I talk to you about. I know how you feel, and that's why I get so many emails from you saying, how did you know exactly what I was thinking? We are more alike than you know, and if I have figured out a way to do something, you can bet that I will share it with you, and that if I can do it and make a change, you can too. All right, so let's get back to our coaching session for today. Is it okay to sometimes feel down and not eat? Here we go. So the first thing I want to ask you is, do you know how to live with stress or emotional discomfort, right? We know that not all stress is bad. Not all stress is something to be avoided or run away from. Some stress is needed to keep us on our toes and to make sure that we can react fast and with the right actions to protect ourselves. It's something that is wired into our brains for survival so that we could do what's necessary at the right time to take care of ourselves. But often, you might be in the habit of experiencing the feelings and the sensations of stress or even mild depression and take it to be a signal that you have to get away from it as fast as you can. that you have to go do something to feel better quickly. Now, just a little reminder, when I talk about feeling down, I'm talking about mild, everyday, garden variety depression. Usually this type of feeling, you might know where it comes from. You might be able to connect the dots from what's going on to what you think about it, to the feeling of stress or fear or mild depression. But remember that if you have strong or lasting depression or an overwhelming feeling of anxiety and you're having trouble functioning, please, please, please get help from a professional. I want you to take good care of yourself, and this is important. So when you feel stressed, what do you usually do, right? Some of you, I know, eat, right? We just eat whether we're hungry or not, or we might drink alcohol more than we would consider reasonable. Maybe you get high in some way. Maybe you sleep too much. Maybe you spend too much. Maybe you overwatch movies and shows as an escape from real life. You might be putting off living your life because you tell yourself you can't concentrate. You just can't focus on anything right now. Now, when life is normal, we have all kinds of ups and downs, right? We know no one's happy all the time. My theory is a third, a third, a third, up, down, and neutral. But it seems like when we're in unusual times, we seem to have higher highs and lower lows. And I think about where we are collectively in the world today, a pandemic, right? What if it were normal now to have some higher highs and lower lows? What if you decided to accept your reactions to what's happening in the world and not think you need to escape it? Could your normal include stress? Could it include some depression, some ups and downs? The answer is yes, as long as it doesn't feel extreme. When you fight your natural emotions, you're giving yourself the message that they're not okay. They're not acceptable. But what if this were just part of being human? You know from listening to me where your feelings come from. You know that something happens in the world and you have a thought about it. And that thought creates a feeling, an emotion, and that emotion is what drives you to do or not do whatever it is you're doing or not doing. And often, once you understand the power that you have, when you know how your thinking is created, you might want to very quickly fix things and try to look for a better thought so you could feel better. You want to get back to feeling good, or at least more neutral. But what if you really acknowledged and accepted that life just was not always rosy? What if you knew that your thoughts about what's happening in the world and in your world will always fluctuate? What if you understood that even when you feel low, that it's part of being alive, and you didn't have to do anything to escape those blah feelings? That's my word, blah. Just kind of blah. All right. What's natural? What's natural is coming in and out of high and low feelings. What if you could sit with the low 1/3 and just acknowledge where you were without running to a solution? Name it and break it down like this. I'm feeling blank because I'm thinking blank about that. I'm feeling fearful because I'm thinking this pandemic is taking so long to end. See the connection. See what leads to what. See why you feel what you feel. Know that a feeling can't hurt you. Know that you can feel blah or even lower and not use food to bring yourself up on that emotional scale. What if you normalized feeling low sometimes? What if it didn't scare you? What would you have to think to not be scared of a feeling? Remember, you're the creator of all your feelings. Whatever you feel in any given moment is not luck. It's not from good or bad things happening to you or to the world, but it's all from what you think. So here's what you might be thinking. Okay, What if I'm feeling low about something that's a fact and it's universal and we're all going through it, like the current pandemic? Can you choose to see it as something bad and still be okay? I want you to allow your feelings to flow, to come and go, to be experienced as up and down, as long as they're not extreme and as long as they don't prevent you from living your life. See if you could rise above your life and look down and see the big picture. See the pattern of ups and downs, the peaks and the valleys and the plateaus. Very few things leave us down all the time. And if this describes you, then yes, you should get professional help. But we're talking about the normal up and down flow of life. You've probably heard it said that where you put your focus creates growth. There are lots of things happening in the world right now that are challenging to watch or listen to or learn about. Right now, there are facts about life that affect all of us in so many ways, and many are not over, and many don't have a quick solution. But what if you could allow it to come front and center now and then let it fade into the background for a little while? And when it's front and center, whatever it is you're down or worried about, you could think, okay, we're all dealing with something real and big and dangerous, or I'm dealing in my life with something real. So the first question is, are you doing what you need to do? Are you doing what you can? Is there anything that needs action right now? Can you accept not having an immediate solution? Can you sit with your lows and still live your life? Now, in my opinion, the answer is yes. There is no need to medicate yourself with extra food. Of course, you know it doesn't solve the problem. Of course, you know it distracts you from your real issue. And when you step back, I know that you know it compounds your suffering. Because after you self-medicate by eating your emotions, you're left with, number one, a stronger emotional eating habit, right? Each time you do it, it gets reinforced and stronger, and possibly extra weight that you don't want. You might doubt yourself and your ability to handle the ups and downs, and you've broken more promises to yourself. And after everything is done, your fears and your concerns, they're still there. So we know using food to feel better doesn't work. I want you to ask yourself, what if right now you just sometimes give yourself permission to feel low or scared or worried or anxious? You will not implode and you will not explode. You will not die. You will not be able to handle it. You will and can just allow it to be. That doesn't mean that you act on it when you feel bad and then you do something that lightens that bad feeling. It's going to pop right back up again as soon as you stop doing that cover-up action. So again, what if you just felt low today? In my own life, I'm just like you. I have things that my thoughts create worry and fear about. And just like you, I used to go right into the kitchen for what I would consider treat food, sweets and starchy carbs. And once I started eating them, I truly believed that I could not stop until they were gone. And now my mind can still create some scary scenarios in my mind some days. There are days when life goes on. I do my work. I love my family. I take care of myself. And the fear and worry go into the background, on a back burner. But on other days, my worry is front and center. Maybe someone said or did something that my brain is fondling, and I'm creating more worry and more fear. Maybe I watch the news, and like many days right now, it just does not sound good. The idea that we will all get through this tough time is real, and I believe it. but some days it just feels far away, and I want relief now. And on those days, I have learned to acknowledge that today is just a low day. Today's a day my brain is dealing with all the accumulated fearful thoughts that I conjured up, and that is okay. My focus on those days is a bit darker because I'm entertaining all the what if thoughts. And yet now I trust myself and I trust life that we will all be okay. And I can feel afraid or low and not have to escape it. Sometimes I write and I look at my thoughts. Sometimes I take a walk. Sometimes I talk to my husband or a friend. Sometimes I take a warm bath. But it doesn't occur to me anymore that food will make me feel better because I've learned from hundreds of emotional eating episodes that it doesn't. The fear is still there when I'm done and life moves on. So imagine not eating from pain or worry or stress or a case of the blahs anymore. If you could stop doing that and learn how your body gives you signals of when to eat and when to stop eating, I want you to imagine that all kinds of things could happen in the world and you would have disconnected your food from your mood. And you could just sit with the feeling and not run away. That would mean that you could live through hard times, which we will all experience at some point, and food will never be the answer. This is possible for you, just as I have proved to myself that it's possible for me, and it's my new reality. Take a breath and tell yourself the truth about how you feel today, and just keep breathing. You can do this, and I'm here to help you. If you would like to dive deeper into learning how to manage all the feelings, the good ones and the challenging ones, without extra food, I've got you, because that's exactly what we do in the Freedom Group. So take a look at the details and join me inside weightlossmadereal.com/group. We're open for just a few days for new members. I would love to help you take your work here with me in these coaching sessions to the next level and help you make some real changes. That is it, my friend, for our coaching session today. You know what you're going to stay focused on. You know what you're going to think about this week, what you're actually feeling, allowing it. I hope to see you back here next week, where we will continue to work on your emotional eating and all that habitual overeating step by step until those habits become something that you used to do. We both know that is your ultimate goal. So for now, this is your Coach Cookie reminding you that as you search for answers, keep it real, just like you. And I will see you back here next week.